What is good, everybody? Anyways, get things quickly out of the way. I'm Drew, if you don't know who I am. I used to do Yu-Gi-Oh content actually for about 3 years. I quit doing it. I went to doing my current content, what ifs, and other stuff's going on. But anyway, is today we are going to be reacting to a duel I submitted to Luke Von Karma, and his reaction is basically one of the best things I've ever seen as far as that goes. So, for people who don't know, I have submitted replays to other content creators back in the day when Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro was a thing. But with Master Duel, my senses have kind of been, let's say, like, reinvigorated. I guess you could say, like, I don't know, it's kind of fun playing with, like, a wider, like, player pool, I guess. Because you have a lot of casuals, you have a lot of pros, you got a nice mix in between with Master Duel, in my opinion. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, like, yeah, a lot of people played it and all, but it felt a bit more underground, less for the casual basis. You know what I mean? So, get things quickly started here. People probably are curious about certain plays that I do as far as that goes, and I'll get to them once they come up here. But as far as my playstyle goes, is something that people probably care to know about. So I was inspired by people like Yu-Gi-Oh! For Real Man, Yu-Gi-Oh! For Real Men, Grand Chevadango, also known as GCD, Yu-Gi-Oh! And also someone who actually recently followed me, Hard Luck Joe, which is also someone else who I admire with his playstyle and the way he does content. Yeah. A lot of crazy stuff's happening this year for sure. I'll say that much for me. But anyways, let's jump right into things here before I keep rambling too long here. Oh yeah, you'll see me in the chat down there a little bit. Like, I'll come up here every so often. And let's get everything going. And if you ever want to add me, that's my player ID, I guess. Currently, I've been taking a little bit of a break. 17 turns. Oh, he was not ready for this. This opening hand was so bad. On Infinite Tracks. I'm just gonna tell you what he just said basically became my gameplay when I saw this card land the field. And oh man. My opponent, I don't know how he got to diamond at this point. So for people who don't know, what I like to do is I like to play competitive decks to get into like higher ranks. And then just play junk like this just to see how players react. And a lot of times, usually people know what they're doing against me. But then I run into people like this guy. And that's when things get interesting. Because, like, you have to take experience, like, with your game knowledge when you're facing someone like me. In that aspect. Like, understand what your opponent's playing. If your opponent's playing jank, you have to understand what their goal is. And this deck in particular has 3 win conditions. And the reason why is because I think the gamble of playing multiple win conditions is kind of funny. So I run Jackpot 7 this, I run Slash Draw, and also I run the Jar engine, which unfortunately, if all the hits that Jars have, like if Morphing Jar could go 3, that'd be really nice. But anyways, besides that grievance, the goal for this deck is to give your opponent the jars that are in your deck with a particular card that summons basically two of them face down their side of the field. You attack them, and you get your Jackpot 7s milled. The alternative option, which Slash Draw is useful for two things. It helps shuffle in Jackpot 7. Somehow it just gets in the graveyard and doesn't trigger for whatever reason. So, like, if it gets negated, for example, or it gets negated in the graveyard, just stays there for a reason, you can kind of use that and shuffle it back in. Like, that's kind of why it's there. And also for the random off chance you can get lucky, because this deck goes through so many cards because it mills yourself. You have pretty high odds of activating Slash Draw and resolving it, but it's not really what I like to call the main win condition. The main win condition is either your opponent gets decked out or you have Jackpot 7 resolved. Either one really works, but we shall continue to my turn here. Okay, so you saw the other card earlier, but this is where things got crazy with the luck they have here. So I have one set card exactly, and I have one card to switch out for this. And most people by this point know what switcheroo is, but this card is like some shenanigan stuff for sure. Like, I play it in Time Lords, I play it in a few other like jank decks that I play. Like, it's just fun. I'm just gonna say that much. Like, that's the main reason why. That's 0.03% use rate. Yeah, you can already tell there's shenanigans literally within my first turn, like what this deck like goal is. And reverse reuse was the card I was trying to bring up. I just couldn't read the card text when it initially popped up. I read the card. I don't know why my opponent did that, but okay. I mean, it kind of is. Jar's pretty underpowered. And here's where he has to think for a moment. Yep. That's how the card works. Okay, I don't know what my opponent was doing here. But this is where a series of misplays come, which you kind of saw earlier. But I don't know why they changed their max C to a duality. Because if you read the card, or whoever this is, I can't special summon during the turn I activate this card. Like, what are you thinking when you were chaining this card? Like, I don't get it. Like, what was your plan? Like, alright. Okay, there's my jar. Okay, so I want to pause real quick because here's one thing. If my opponent went for the burn strategy, they probably could have just won here. They didn't need a negate to like out this thing. They could have just done that. And I don't know why Ara didn't think about that throughout this whole time, but it's just I don't know. I don't know what to think anymore. I mean, it's not wrong about that. Like, completely dropped my entire game plan just to risk playing this card. Like, I'm sure if my opponent thought through a little bit, they probably could have beat this deck. This deck is just jank. Honestly, it's pretty garbo in all honesty, but I just don't know how this duel kept going for as long as it did. In all honesty, they probably should just like surrendered, but you'll see here. I mean, as a Dragon Ball fan, I know I can't beat my can't read allegations sometimes as well. Okay, so it seems like they got an idea going. Okay. So 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 there's a bit of delay to his reaction, but they negated their own card effect for some reason. I don't know why. They're just pushing buttons. Like, and it's negated. There goes my problem. I think the sad thing, this wasn't scripted at all. Yeah, there's a mention of that. I mean, yeah, it's basically what happened. In all honesty, just kept going with it because I don't know what they were gonna do. Yep. There's that. Okay, so this right here was a misplay on my end. I clicked the wrong card in my extra deck, and some majestic. And like, what you use majestic for? People know what majestic does. It's a negate, and you just bring it out in the scenarios like when you need it, basically. But here, I had other options that would have made far more sense to put out here. I just happened to choose the wrong card, and that happens sometimes in Master Duel. I'm not afraid to admit that. I think that's where, yeah, I think it's where Luke just died. Yeah, so if I had the funds, I would play this. I would play this in like a competitive setting. This particular deck, and there we go. And our prediction princess. Why not? Here's where I just keep doing stuff. In all honesty, because so if Luke was paying attention to my opponent's deck, they didn't have any cards really left. So I was kind of just messing around at this point. I guess you could say stalling, but not really. Kind of just playing cards just because I feel like. Here, so after here, they have one card in deck, and I have four. The funny thing is, they didn't have a game plan for that. I mean, I couldn't either. I can't believe they couldn't do it. Here's that. The funny thing is that, yeah, it's funny. That's the last card in my deck. I don't think it's like the worst replay ever. It's just really dumb. Everything happens. So what happens is my opponent just takes forever with their turn, and they run out of time. Like, legitimately. They didn't surrender. They just wasted so much time playing their turn. Okay, so at the time, like this is recording, what my Twitter profile is like Prince Charming and like Dio like combined. It's like a very cursed set of characters put together. But anyway, that explains that real quick. But to be honest, this was one thing I wanted to do. I discovered like Luke's channel, like not his streams, but his actual channel where he does like sub replay Fridays, like as like a casual like night watching thing. Like I'm just tired, I'm just scrolling your phone. It's like, oh, what's this thing? And I've seen funny duels there. Don't get me wrong, but it's like there's stuff that I've played in ladder that's just really stupid. And I was like, when he offered to open this to the public, it's like I'm going to try my best to get in there. And I was so happy that I was picked for this thing. Like it really means a lot to me, in all honesty. Yeah. That even chat's like going crazy about that. Oh man, two people want to have me gift a sub. And there we go. Intentionally gifted me a tier 2 sub, which is crazy. I do want to thank him real quick for that. And also, I will probably be back the next couple of streams as long as people continue to gift me subs. Because why not? I go play this game how I want to. And then while it's not the most competitive thing in the world, it's really much just a game of rolling the dice and seeing if I get lucky playing against some people. At the end of the day, this is great, honestly. Like, still, all right. That's all of that. There's nothing left about this, but I hope you all enjoyed my reaction to Luke's stream clip here. This will go up after his video goes up. I'm not the type to take away attraction from another career like that. I'm not gonna try to jump the gun and have this up there. But I will say this is up before his thing, so I'll link his in the description and whatnot. And yeah, I can't wait till the next upcoming two sub replay Fridays, and I'll put up some stuff. We'll see if I get lucky enough to get in, because obviously when you have as many subscribers, like people don't get Twitch, so for people who are like YouTube only people, Twitch subscribers are stuff you have to pay for. So if Axon is willing to pay for it, for me means a lot in context. And I'll tell you right now, like I have more stuff with this deck. I actually won with this deck before, with its proper like jackpot 7 win condition. And I do have one where I randomly won with slash draw, but it's like it was, those victories are kind of for myself. Like unless there's other funnier stuff, I don't really want to show those particular replays, but I got some stuff going. But anyways, this has been Drew from What If Universe signing out, and I will see you on Luke Von Carmen's next sub Friday stream. Maybe. We'll see if I still have that Twitch sub by then or whatnot. But either way, if I have other stuff to react to and give commentary feedback on, I definitely will. But we're not completely done yet, because I have a deck profile to get to, because I promised that in the tweet that I released, so I'm going to actually go over everything in there, so give me a second here. Alright, we are on the Master Duel account, so let's get into things. We're not going to show these just yet, but yeah. At the moment, just doing some climbing. I got videos that for other people and stuff. I don't do as much content creation on my main channel because of that reason, but I also do a podcast and stuff in case people care about that. But let's get right into this deck profile real quick. I do have a bunch of accessories and stuff because do like to place in the background. Okay, so this deck is currently 52 cards, which I'm pretty sure I didn't adjust it too much from the original. There's other stuff I'd rather play in here compared to what I normally do. And don't mind the extra deck. I changed the deck a little bit because there was an event, but most of the stuff in here is fine. It's mostly a toolbox. Like, it's not that important to the grand scheme of things. Like, you could toss out, like, Waking Dragon. You don't need this card. It just happens to be in here because of this card, actually, Absorbing Jar. And basically it destroys all set spells and traps on a field. Then each player draws a card for cards they controlled that was destroyed. And you can't set any cards that turn. So the idea is basically you have this card, which is reverse reuse. You target 2 flip monsters in your graveyard, give them to your opponent, either face up or face down defense position. So you put them face down, you attack your thing, and you can destroy. You destroy basically your Waking Dragon. And depending when you do this, you could potentially get your opponent to surrender. Like if you summoned, I don't know, the Last Warrior from Another Planet, which this card, like these days, people play around it a lot better. Like they just set cards and whatnot, but people don't know what they're doing. They sometimes just scoop, especially on Master Duel. They feel like they don't have time. And I'm not afraid to admit this deck is a little bit toxic in some aspects. And there's Messenger Piece. I would play different Floodgates compared to this one. Like there's better options in Master Duel that you could do. And also I recently added Jar of Avarice. That was one of the newer additions because sometimes you lose all your slash draws. You might need to shuffle those back in a deck for a reason. So throwing like a single copy is just there, but this deck can easily be trimmed down. Like you don't need everything in here how it is. And also Miracle Rupture, which basically is like a foolish for like the jar cards because they're Earths. And it says level 4 or lower. As far as that goes. I think the funny thing is I'm running dinosaur type cards, though I don't think they work with Fossil Fusion. I actually don't think I ever played the Fossil Fusion stuff. I've seen like MBT and like DZ and other people play them, but I never played them myself, in all honesty. And I think most of this stuff is fairly self-explanatory as far as stuff goes. But this is what it currently looks like. I'll probably adjust it later down the line. And also, some people might be noticing this random like hollow full armor master I have in here. Blackwing full armor master. What? I can't read today. I'm not being these can't read allocations even for this video. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this miniature deck profile. Obviously, I haven't done Yu-Gi-Oh content in a while, so I'm not as great as explaining how I do stuff. I just do things, you know. Like I think that's the best way to describe stuff. But anyways, I was trying to end the video earlier after reaction segment, but I almost forgot to do it till I thought last minute. But hope y'all enjoy. I'm gonna cut the outro, and I will see you in the next reaction stream thing for one of these, whatever. Like I don't know what to call this. It's who knows if this will even become a series in the first place. But honestly, I just enjoyed having it done one time in the first place, and if that's it, then good enough for me. Anyways, maybe I'll do more videos and stuff in the future, but I gotta go back to doing some editing here for somebody, and yeah, hopefully you'll see that whenever that drops. I'll see ya next time.